Hi and welcome to Randy's Reindeer Emporium. I'm Randy, and you can stop clicking that skip button on your screen because this paid advertisement is part of the show you're already watching. Here at Randy's, we've got your needs covered from everything from reindeer meat to antler tree ornaments to regular tree ornaments. Randy's Reindeer Emporium is your one-stop shop for all things Christmas, all the time. So come on down to Randy's and satisfy your Christmas cravings today. And I know you may be thinking, hey Randy, how is a year-round Christmas store a sustainable business model? How do you build up a steady customer base in the other 11/12ths of the year? And you make a compelling point. I cannot afford to pay the upkeep on this place, but I'm very stubborn and very desperate and locked into a 2-year lease. So please, come on down and support Randy's, because if you don't, you hate small businesses and therefore America. There is a war on Christmas in July, and only you can fight it by coming to Randy's Reindeer Emporium and buying something. A string of lights, a Mrs. Claus snow globe, and tinsel that definitely does not contain lead paint. What do I have to do to get you people to come here and buy something? I'll take on your student debt. I'll go to a middle school play. I will sell you the grade A Colombian cocaine that I definitely should not have taken before shooting this commercial. So come on down to Randy's Reindeer Emporium, where it's always Christmas, but with the mood of a Victorian orphanage. And pre-tape from Chapel Hill, it's a Sunday morning.
Hello, and welcome to On the Hill,
A UNC student television production.
I'm Zuri Best.
And I'm Jared Warner.
Here to bring you news
On the Hill.
U.S. presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke always receives criticism for standing on tables when delivering his speeches to his passionate crowds. Well, Beto recently visited UNC and didn't even stand on one table. What, Beto? Are our tables not good enough for you?
Hey, he didn't need to stand on our tables because he was already standing on his principles. Yeah, I stand by that one too. 2 Arkansas men were recently arrested for aggravated assault after taking turns shooting one another in the chest while wearing a bulletproof vest. This sounds insane until you realize they were actually reenacting their favorite scene from Hamilton.
In other white people news...
I never said that they were white.
I think we all know what they looked like.
Notre Dame Cathedral was recently destroyed by a devastating fire, finally claiming the title of the hottest tourist attraction in Paris.
A couple of weeks ago was the senior bell tower climb, a time-honored tradition at UNC that is increasingly inaccessible to those who aren't rich or able to purchase a fast pass in order to skip the line of seniors. Next year, I can only assume that they'll install an elevator so those rich kids no longer have to climb those horrendous stairs.
And speaking of towers, in the aftermath of the devastating fire at Notre Dame Cathedral, many people on social media claimed that they saw a silhouette of Jesus Christ in the flames. Or, and hear me out on this one, they didn't.
Notre Dame has now raised over $1 billion for its restoration efforts, which is fantastic. I can't think of anything that's more important than crowdfunding to rebuild Notre Dame. Anything.
Atlanta Braves outfielder Ronald Acuna Jr. recently hit a home run while falling onto one knee, and somehow managed to still hit the longest home run of his career and the second longest home run ever recorded in that ballpark. To use baseball terminology, it was mammoth, a moonshot, an absolute tank job. Speaking of which, do you know what the biggest tank job in history was? Tiananmen Square.
An Indiana man recently sued his parents after they destroyed his $29,000 porn collection that he left at their house. In other shocking news, this man has just gotten divorced. I can't possibly imagine why his wife would have a problem with his $29,000 porn collection. Honestly, the first red flag should have been that this porn collection included 400 VHS tapes in 2019. That's some serial killer shit right there. And now, a word from our sponsors.
Have you or a loved one experienced a recent string of break-ins? Do these break-ins typically happen in late December? Are these break-ins usually committed by a big man in a red suit? If so, you may be dealing with the Yuletide snatcher. He creeps into chimneys, crawls into small spaces, and takes your kids' milk and cookies. And you might be entitled to financial compensation.
I'm Holly Fudge with the firm Fudge, Ginger, and Sherry. We take your claims very seriously, and we want to protect you and your home from the Yuletide snatcher. Mr. Claus may look friendly, but what he's doing is breaking and entering, and that's a crime. And consider the method by which he selects his victims, only going to the houses of Christians. That's discrimination, which is illegal. And the dents his reindeers leave on your roof, well, that's no laughing matter. It's vandalism. Millions of God-fearing Americans are victimized by the not-so-jolly St. Nick every year. And Fudge, Ginger, and Sherry is here to help with all the Christmas chaos he causes. So give us a call at 1-800-SANTA-STOLE-MY-KIDS, and we'll give you the representation you deserve from this public nuisance.
Fudge, Ginger, and Sherry have helped over 3 families win damages amounting to a combined $170 for their physical and emotional distress. And that's the perfect amount of money to go spend at Randy's Reindeer Emporium, where we heed your Christmas needs 24/7, 365, except Christmas Day when we're closed. Randy's Reindeer Emporium! Proudly represented by Fudge, Ginger, and Sherry, LLC. Call now.
UNC's longtime women's basketball coach Sylvia Hatchell recently announced that she would be resigning after a university commissioned review of the program found she made racially insensitive comments. This news is heartbreaking and shocking to all 2 of the women's basketball fans across the country.
As part of a Hawaii man's probation, the judge ordered him not to drink his favorite soft drink, Pepsi, which I can only assume was his original crime. This ruling brought to you by the Honorable Judge Cherry C. Okakola. After he received this devastating dietary restriction, the poor man went on a Coke binge.
Ha, I get it. It's like a play on words, like Coke, but also drugs. Funny. Oregon police responded to reports of a burglar trapped inside a bathroom, but when armed officers arrived, all they found was a Roomba doing a very thorough job of banging repeatedly into the shower door. But the joke's on the police, because after, the Roomba got away with $1,000, 3 passports, and the dignity of everyone involved.
A new study found that cats can respond to their own names. So I guess Agnes and Bessie were just choosing to ignore me.
Wait, those are actually your cat's names?
Yeah?
Well, no wonder they ignore you. Give them old lady names and they'll listen like old ladies.
Oh, with Fox News turned on max volume?
A road crew in Doral, Florida misspelled the word school as skullhole. Turns out the guy responsible was a student in the Florida public skullhole system, which is ranked 40th in the US. Honestly, his old teachers are probably impressed that he only mixed up 2 letters.
A shocking new study found that men with beards contain more bacteria than dogs' fur.
Yeah, beards are gross.
Before the release of the Mueller report, Attorney General Bill Barr decided to hold another edition of the Old White Man Propaganda Hour to spin the report before anyone else could actually see it. Barr lied a lot during that press conference, but I actually want to focus on a different part of the presser, and that's the 2 people standing behind him at the podium. First, standing to Barr's right was Edward O'Callahan, pictured here being told that his beard contains more bacteria than dog's fur. And then the other guy on his left, Rod Rosenstein, whose vacant stare during the press conference captured the hearts of America, as well as the humor of the internet. Fortunately, at On the Hill, we were able to obtain an exclusive copy of exactly what was going through Rod Rosenstein's mind during that press conference. Take a look.
Am I a good man? How will history remember me? Does my wife still love me? Because I know I don't love me. Has anyone caught on to the fact that I'm a robot? I better blink to trick them. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. And time for a lightning round of impressions. Here's my best Bernie Sanders. All the millionaire, billionaire cows in Washington are utterly responsible for rising inequality, truly milking the American people for everything they have. Get it? I made a joke about cows. I'm pretty funny. Ha, nailed it. Okay, now do Trump. What was the last thing he said to you again? Oh, right. That you're a huge disappointment. I truly despise everything about you. Just find the tallest balcony and jump the fuck off, alright? Eric, that's not a toy! Oh, okay. I'll do Bill Barr next. Oh, that's cool, because he's sitting right next to me. Alright. I'm not remotely good at my job in any way, and, Kamala Harris is really terrifying, and I think she may have noticed I was lying when I answered her questions, but I might have thrown her off the trail because I did use a very clever duh. What was the question again? I just don't know the answer, Senator. But in any case, I think history will look down on me as at best an enabler and at worst a convicted felon. Wow, that was a lot of fun. Oh, right, wait, I'm in the middle of a press conference. I have to look like I'm a human, and one last time, and blink!
A California teenager reportedly baked her grandfather's ashes into cookies and handed them out to her classmates. It got even worse when the classmates gave the cookies such great reviews that the Girl Scouts introduced them into their fall line.
Hey, I'd eat that. Speaking of disturbing food, a pizza restaurant in Springtown, Texas was recently forced to close after employees put laxatives on the pizza, inadvertently discovering Domino's secret ingredient. Oh, that's just me? I really should see a doctor.
And that's all that we have time for today.
Thanks for watching. It has been a great season here at On the Hill, and although I don't know exactly when we'll be back, I hope you join us when we do.
This has been
On the Hill.